Hi guys, Angela Cedrin here, and thank you for watching. I'm a business coach, and my goal is to help 1 million women achieve financial freedom by 2030. It can be 1 million women anywhere in the world, and I hope to do that through my courses, through my teaching, through my blogs, through even someone happening to watch this video now. Whatever way I can, that is my commitment. And I'm doing this because I've been a single mother for 25 years, and I understand the sacrifices that women make raising families. So today I wanted to talk about a statistic that is utterly shocking. I can't put it any other way. Did you know that 1 in 3 women in Australia, the UK, and the US, 1 in 3. So if you're sitting in a row of 3 of you, 1 of you is going to live below the poverty line by the time you reach middle age. And that is even professionals. It's an absolutely shocking statistic, and it's something that creeps up on a lot of women. So let me tell you the story of 2 women that I work with. One is a friend of mine. She's a hairdresser. She's got 3 children. She has absolutely no assets. Everything that she has earned, she has put into raising her kids. And her plan to, I guess, not live in poverty in her old age is to join the army. She actually went off, did a university degree in, I think, international politics, and she's planning to actually join the army as an officer because the army will secure a pension and will give her housing. Crazy, isn't it? Not her. I think it's crazy that she has to even think like this. I think she's fantastic that she's made plans. And the question for you is, have you actually made plans? Because you might be sitting very comfortably right now, but let me tell you another story. So I met Frida about 3 years ago. And Frida had gotten divorced. She'd had a very successful business of her own. Unfortunately, in the divorce settlement, she took the business and gave her husband all their assets. He'd worked in the business and he hadn't actually declared his GST and paid his GST for the period, I think 3 years previous to when she got the business. Long story short, she had to declare bankruptcy. She was 56 years old. She lost everything. She was actually sleeping on her father's couch in the retirement village on the Central Coast. I taught her how to build an online business. And I remember, for me, one of the most beautiful things anybody's ever said to me, she came to me and she said, "I'm so grateful because if it wasn't for you teaching me these skills, I literally would not have had enough money for food." I mean, it saddens me that we're in this position, but it's a very common position. I know another lady who also thought that everything was fine. It turns out her husband had fallen in love with a catfisher on social media or something, and he'd given this woman all their life savings, or this person, I don't even think it was a woman. So this friend of mine, this was in Italy, she ended up effectively losing everything and getting divorced and having to restart again. And in middle age, that is not an easy thing to do. How do we regroup? How do we start again? So my message to you today is, you've got to take action, ladies, because you've got to make sure that you are financially secure. And right now, there are fantastic opportunities to grow some sort of online business. You can keep it as a side hustle and maybe only do a few hours a week. You might want to eventually go full-time. I know there's a lot of women who, once they get to roughly their 40s, if you were anything like me, you thought, oh, I'm going to do all of this. I'm going to become a corporate high flyer. I remember I had visions actually of, I grew up in the 80s, so I had visions of the big fancy car, flying in the corporate jet. I was kind of like a female version of Gordon Gekko. And I got to my 40s after raising my son for the last 25 years thinking, wow, what the hell was I thinking? I just want a simpler life where I can look after myself, run my own business, help other women not have to go through this, and rescue more animals. And that's really all I want in life. And that might be what you want as well. Just some security that you will be looked after and that you don't have to struggle. So my advice to you is go out there and find ways to do that. Online coaching is a brilliant way. The industry is set to grow to 325 billion by 2025. 325 billion. Literally, it's growing by billions every year at the moment. And when a lot of my students come to me, they'll say, oh, well, I've got nothing to teach. No, the point is, if you have a skill, knowledge, expertise, something that solves a life problem, you can set up a course. I can promise you, you have a tribe somewhere out there who's looking for you. The other thing that works incredibly well, and I think it's a brilliant business model, but who cares what I think? Warren Buffett, Tony Robbins, they think it's brilliant too, is some form of virtual franchising. I'm not talking scams, I'm not talking pyramid selling, I'm talking a business who doesn't want to pay a shopping center thousands and thousands and thousands in rent and would rather get a network of people to sell their products and give them the money and put the money in their pocket. So there's lots of ways to do this. Guys, just take a moment and think about where you're at in life and what you're doing for yourself as well. Because I don't want you to fall into this position. I want to make sure that you are financially secure and that you never have to worry about paying another bill. I'll see you in my next video. Take care.